we saw Ray. Tonight in American tradition, the Fenway faithful get to see their 9 for the very first time. The Aces on the hill, and Pedro's forecast is for a high heat all night long. Good evening, everybody. You're looking live at Fenway Park, and the rain has subsided and blue skies above. Should be a great night of baseball as the Red Sox and Orioles play game 1 of a rain-shortened 2-game series. Jerry and I will be back with the first pitch from Fenway after this.
Our employees are the largest asset at Kelly's.
And if you really want to take care of your people, health care is #1.
And that's really where Blue Cross Blue Shield comes in.
With this card, HP Hood is an employer of choice.
If you look at what it saves you in terms of turnover rates and people and what attracts you, it saves you a fortune.
Dollar for dollar, this is the best value there is.
It actually is saving us some money, and our people are getting the best benefits.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
This is my ticket to medical care.
I'll take the red one.
Good choice.
During Jeep Days, we'll match your down payment up to $750 and add cash allowances for $3,000 or 0% financing on any 04 Grand Cherokees. With our 770 powertrain warranty, it equals the best values in America.
Hey, your world has more depth than a sound bite, more dimension than your laptop. You want to have a point of view, to be a more interesting boyfriend, to get a job. Yes, you make a promise to be informed every day. A promise made in writing.
The Boston Globe. Your world unfolding daily.
Did I mention one of the best sports sections in the country?
The Transporter on DVD. Now with 15 minutes of unrated extended fight scenes. The Transporter. Buy it Tuesday.
You know, they spend most of their time just waiting for the ball.
Yeah, you're right. Might as well be comfortable.
It's just not that hard.
Boston Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. By your Eastern Lexus dealer in the new 2004 RX-30, putting the world on notice again. And by Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. Welcome back to Fenway Park, everybody. A beautiful night. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy, and the Red Sox are finally going to play some baseball after 2 washouts, including this afternoon. They're ready to go, Jerry. We're going to see Pedro.
It's been a long couple of days. You know, they had open day ceremonies, no game this afternoon. Finally, the skies have cleared, and Red Sox fans will get their first chance to see Pedro Martinez tonight, and despite a 0.60 ERA, still looking for his first win.
And Pedro making his way onto the field, as are the Red Sox. And the fans certainly glad that the rains have subsided, and we are finally going to have opening night here at Fenway Park. The Red Sox coming in with a 6-4 record. Look to take their first game at Fenway Park. Let's take a look at the visiting Orioles lineup. Jerry Hairston leads it off, the second baseman. Gary Matthews Jr. in center field bats second. David Segui, the DH. Jeff Conine, the veteran, at first base in the cleanup spot. Jay Gibbons in right field. Tony Batista at third base. The veteran B.J. Surhoff out in left field. Davy Cruz, the newcomer to this order, bats eighth at shortstop. And Geronimo Gil does the catching and bats ninth.
The Red Sox are eighth in the league in defense. They've made 7 errors in their 10 games. It'll be Shea Hillenbrand at third base, Nomar at shortstop, Todd Walker at second, and David Ortiz at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Kevin Millar. Jason Veritek behind the plate, and on the mound, Pedro Martinez. Start number 3 for Pedro. A no decision against Tampa Bay. A no decision against Baltimore. Gave up 1 earned run in those 2 starts. That was against Baltimore. An 0.60 ERA. Opponent's only hitting 135 off Pedro, and he's trying to pick up his first win of the season in his career. 7-1 against the Orioles.
And the umpiring crew tonight. Jerry Lane has the plate. Dana DeMuth at third. Marv Hudson at second base, and Greg Gibson, the umpire, at first.
Let's check tonight's game notes, brought to you by New England Toyota dealers. The Red Sox 60-42 in home openers. Of their last 11, they had 9-2. They've scored at least 11 runs in their last 3 home openers, 35 total, and 4-2 in home openers against the Baltimore Orioles.
And a look at the new seats above the wall here at Fenway Park. The fans settling in there above the wall, and those are some terrific vantage points. I'm sure we will visit them often tonight and get some of those vantage points and talk about them. As some great seats up there, and the fans already in them as they were ready for opening night. Well, Pedro Martinez is ready for opening night. Jerry Hairston in on the right side, and finally the first pitch at Fenway on the ground and out of the reach of Shea Hillenbrand and into left. And Jerry Hairston is aboard to begin things tonight.
Well, Jerry Hairston is one guy in this lineup that's always had very good success against Pedro Martinez. 368 coming into the game, and that runs his hitting streak now to 7 straight games.
So it did not take long for the Orioles to get their first base runner tonight. There's Gary Matthews Jr., who has had kind of a tough start to the season, hitting under 200 so far. Remarkable that Pedro comes in with a 0.60 earned run average. And this is his 3rd start of the season. Does not have a decision yet. Couple tough outings for the bullpen, and not much in the way of run support in the first 2 games that Pedro has pitched. 2-0 now to Gary Matthews.
Tell you what, Don, I would have never imagined we'd have a night like this. So it rained terribly yesterday, as everybody knows. The same thing. The field was a complete mess this morning after all that rain. They had to cancel the afternoon game. All of a sudden, about 3:30, 3:45, the sky started to clear, and it is absolutely beautiful tonight.
And then the field got some much-needed sun. There goes Hairston on the ground to his left. Walker able to throw to first to get Matthews. On to second goes Hairston, and now 1 away. Where available, today's broadcast can be heard in Spanish by using the SAP function on your TV set.
Buenas noches, amigos.
I was told by the Spanish broadcasters before the game, J.P. Villeman mentioned that we have become folk heroes in the Dominican, you and I, Jerry.
Really?
Yeah. They've gotten some phone calls down there, and they are big fans.
Well, that's muy bien. Bueno.
So much so that I'm now going to have to learn some Spanish. Here is David Segui. Segui, who started the year on the disabled list, was activated in the series against the Red Sox last Saturday. Just in time to face Pedro Martinez the first time, and gets his second look at Pedro in a week. Inside, 2-0. Had to be unsure for Pedro, who of course was scheduled to go yesterday. Came today imagining that he would start this afternoon, and finally gets to start here tonight.
I would imagine, Don, he might have got a call at home before the game telling him it was called off. Usually the starting pitcher gets there later than the rest of the team.
Segui waving at that offering.
Segui expecting the fastball on the 2-0 count. Instead, he gets the changeup from Pedro.
Is it the best changeup you've ever seen?
Well, yeah, I would have to say so. You know, he's the kind of guy, he'll throw it to right-handers, to left-handers. Doesn't matter to him. He'll throw you 3 or 4 in a row, and he has great location for the most part with it.
Jerry Hairston stands at second with 1 out. Chop towards second base. Walker there, the easy toss, and there's 2 away. With a ground ball to the right side, on to third goes Jerry Hairston.
The first baseman, number 18, Jeff Conine.
Here's Jeff Conine, the first baseman. 216, no homers and a run batted in for Conine. Pedro, last time out against these Orioles, 8 innings, giving up just 4 hits. Did not figure in the decision, the 2-1 loss in Baltimore. He had 6 strikeouts, did not walk anyone in that outing against the Orioles. Jerry Hairston, who tripled in that game and scored. And Hairston stands at third now with 2 outs. On the corner, 2-1. Missing away, and it's 3-1 now. Pedro last year 4-0 against this Orioles squad with a minuscule 1.88 earned run average. He gave up just 5 earned runs in 24 innings against Mike Hargrove's crew. Outside of third, and the count runs full now to Jeff Conine.
Tell you what, too, you got to give credit to the ground crew for getting this ballpark in this kind of shape after all that rain.
Unbelievable job by David Miller and his crew. There's David at the end there. Terrific job. Pedro stares in to find out what he'll throw. 3-2 to Conine. Rolling away, and Conine works the walk. And the first base on ball served up by Martinez.
Right fielder.
Now, Pedro's had 6 strikeouts in each of his first 2 starts. He's actually second on the Red Sox staff. Casey Fossum leads the staff with 15 strikeouts.
Here's Jay Gibbons, the right fielder for the Orioles. Had a breakout season of sorts last year. So far this season with 2 home runs for the Orioles right fielder. Brady Little tonight looking for his 100th managerial victory tonight in a Red Sox uniform. Brady just 1 shy of the century mark in wins. The 0-1 right back this way below us. 0-2 quickly to Jay Gibbons. If the Red Sox win tonight, Brady will become the 2nd fastest to 100 wins among active major league managers. Minnesota's Ron Gardenhire is 98 in 172 games. Hairston at third, Conine at first. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. The 0-2. Tech setting up outside. This is driven towards right center field. Damon on the run, lays it out. Can't make the catch. It's under him. This will score 2 as Hairston comes around to score. Conine's coming in, and it works out to be a 2-run double for Jay Gibbons. just out of the reach of Johnny Damon, and the Orioles take the 2-0 lead.
Well, Pedro made the pitch he wanted to. You can see Veritek set up away. That ball is away, but Gibbons hooks that ball, pulls it, and Johnny Damon, who was shading him slightly to the opposite field, can't quite get there. Ball gets by him and a couple of runs in for the Orioles. When Pedro throws a fastball away, you expect that hitter to hit the ball to the opposite field. That time that ball was hooked by Gibbons, and he found a gap out there.
Here's Tony Batista with his unorthodox stance in on the right side. And he promptly goes after the first one down the left field line, and that's going to grab the wall. Gibbons comes around to score as Manny's throw to second as Batista racing back to the bag at first, and he barely gets back there as he stopped better than halfway to second base and was able to duck back.
Yeah, the tough thing about that for the second baseman, he doesn't know whether the guys continue to come to second base or not. So once Todd Walker got the throw from Ramirez, he just starts applying a tag, but Batista was on his way back to first base. So they strike quick here in the first inning. The base hit by Gibbons on a fastball. Batista jumps on a curveball from Pedro to drive in another run.
So a 3-run top of the first inning so far for the Orioles. And here's B.J. Surhoff, who looks at strike one. Just a 160 beginning for Surhoff. He waves at that pitch. Pedro Martinez has had to throw 21 pitches so far here in the top of the first inning. And this is the 7th Oriole batter here in the top of the first. In the air, down the line in right. Millar headed towards the line, and he'll pull it in to retire the side. But the Orioles get to Pedro for 3 in the top of the first inning. The Red Sox coming up when we come back. Back at Fenway, the Orioles get 3 in the top of the first. Let's take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup. Johnny Damon at the top of the order in center field. Todd Walker bats second at second base. Nomar Garciaparra the shortstop. Manny Ramirez in left. David Ortiz at first base. Kevin Millar riding the 9-game hitting streak in right. Jay Hillenbrand at third. Jeremy Giambi in there tonight as the DH. And Jason Veritek does the catching.
The Orioles are 12th in the league in defense. They've made 10 errors in their first 9 games. Tony Batista will be at third base. Davey Cruz the shortstop. Jerry Hairston at second and Jeff Conine at first. Left to right, B.J. Surhoff, Gary Matthews Jr. and Jay Gibbons. Geronimo Hill behind the plate, and on the mound, Jason Johnson. He's only made 1 start. That was against the Red Sox. Pitched great. 6 1/3 innings, only 1 hit allowed, no runs, walked 3 and struck out 2.
Johnny Damon, the recipient of strike 1.
He's actually pitched probably the best game so far this year against the Red Sox.
An outstanding effort his first time out. Was actually skipped in the rotation initially as he made his final warm-up down in Fort Lauderdale the Monday before facing the Red Sox on the Saturday as he was matched up against Pedro Martinez. Camden Yards, a look at those numbers. Quickly ahead of Damon, 0-2. Really get a piece of the glove. Geronimo Hill that time.
That ball was just about by Johnny Damon, a high fastball, and somehow he's able to foul it off to stay alive.
Very deliberate delivery from Jason Johnson.
Went on. Johnson has a very, very good curveball.
Chopped to third. To his left. Nice play by Batista. Spinned and threw out Johnny Damon for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. Nice play by Batista.
Now, even though the Orioles have had some defensive problems, Batista has not had them. He has not made an error yet on the season.
One down, and it brings up Todd Walker, making his Fenway Park debut in a Red Sox uniform here many times as a member of the Minnesota Twins. Last year, Jason Johnson, 5-14 with a 4.59 earned run average. Made 22 starts for the Orioles and made 2 separate trips to the DL. With a broken finger at one point last year. In the air to the left, Surhoff is there, and he makes the catch on the liner, chest high, 2 down.
Well, those folks sitting up on the left field wall getting a first look at the ball heading out toward left field tonight.
And it's a great look out there. The chance to walk out yesterday prior to the rain. And a vantage point never seen before here at Fenway Park. And it's a great look back down into the hitter. Here's Nomar so far at 304, 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Garciaparra second in the American League in runs. He's got 10 so far. He's just behind Shannon Stewart, leadoff hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lays off, 1-1 to Garciaparra. Well, it is a delightful evening here tonight at Fenway Park, and who would have thunk it after what was a miserable morning and afternoon here at Fenway. Extremely comfortable conditions here tonight, probably near 60 degrees. Softly lined out of the reach of Jerry Hairston and into right. The Red Sox with their first base runner of the night.
Pretty good movement on that fastball by Johnson, back in on the hands of Garciaparra, but he's able to fight it off and push it right by Jerry Hairston at second base. See, that's what I mean about Nomar, almost always getting the good part of the bat on the ball. His hands came in so far, he still got the decent part of the bat on that to hit it fairly hard for the base hit.
Now for the first time in 2003, Manny Ramirez steps to the plate. Nomar with a good sized lead at first. Johnson has started ahead of first few hitters that he has faced in the Boston order tonight. Johnson noticing the secondary lead by Garciaparra. Again, almost threw that one away. Conan had to reach around Nomar to gather it.
Nomar getting an awful lot of attention with Ramirez at the plate. Generally, he does not run with Manny at the plate, especially here at Fenway.
The wind blows from left to right across the outfield tonight. And he fouls it off. I think one of the more interesting things in the new structure here at the ballpark is the wide open center field now, which used to be enclosed out there beyond what is a brand new scoreboard now, just to the left of the scoreboard in center field, and it's wide open now. I wonder what kind of wind we'll deal with out there.
I don't think it'll have much of an effect unless it's one of those east winds coming off the ocean.
I was wondering if it'll knock anything down out there, as that used to be closed in there to the left of the scoreboard. Now you can see right down into the neighborhood out there in Kenmore Square. 0-2 to center. Gary Matthews ducking back, and that'll do it in the inning. Red Sox leave a man. We've played one on opening night from Fenway. 3-0 Orioles.
Back at Fenway, 3-0 Orioles after 1 inning. Well, H.P. Hood is rooting for the Red Sox and kids throughout New England. Each time the Red Sox strike out an opponent, make a double play, or hit a home run at Fenway, Hood donates $100 to the Hood Home Team Advantage Fund. Over the past 2 years, over $300,000 has been raised for children's hospitals all over New England.
Second inning, Davy Cruz, the number 8 hitter inside the Orioles order, lead it off. Newcomer of sorts, really the only addition that the Orioles made to their club during the offseason. Cruz coming over from the Tigers. Waves at that pitch, 0-2. Extremely good fielding shortstop is Davy Cruz as he strikes out. First K of the night for Pedro Martinez.
Now, Davy Cruz throughout his career has not had very much success against Pedro. 0-71 coming into the game, and Pedro makes quick work with the curveball to pick up his first strikeout. Much better location there than obviously the one he threw to Bautista when Bautista got the base hit to drive in a run.
They have to make alternate plans out there because the wall is gone. So now they have kind of a clothesline out there that they've created, the K-men or Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, that's right. They used to put those K's up on the wall, but the wall has since left us. So now they got the clothesline. That's pretty good.
That's great. At least they thought of it. Yes, they're all set. They've made the adjustment on the fly. Geronimo Gil, the catcher. Red Sox nemesis last year. With 3 home runs off Frank Castillo last season against the Red Sox. Gil this year with a home run so far. Foul off the left side. Sits safely in his last 4 games. First rookie catcher to start for the Orioles on an opening day since Andy Etchebarren back in 1966. Pedro just missing 2-2.
Andy Etchebarren was a teammate of mine for a while with the California Angels.
The 40s.
They're coming out hard tonight, huh, Don?
It's been a while since we've done a game. Getting a little restless here in the booth today. We've been here.
Boy, this has been a long day, I'll tell you. I am very pleased to see some baseball being played.
It's been a lot of quality time today with the Rem Dog. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Pedro to open things up in the second inning.
Pedro looks to be much looser here in the second inning, not just because he has a couple of strikeouts, but just seems free and easy. That's the cut fastball right there to pick up the strikeout. Looks like he was feeling his way around there in the first inning, and 2 pachados.
There's Jerry Hairston. Look out. Back down onto his hip pockets.
Yeah, you kind of figure that was coming because Hairston has really handled Pedro well. And it's time maybe to send a little message. And we'll see how the Orioles respond to that.
That's an effective message if you ask me.
Yeah. It's the old-fashioned knockdown pitch. Up and in.
Back inside again. And now with the thrust of the last one, 2-0. Hairston, incredible numbers against Pedro. You don't find those kinds of numbers anywhere. Two and one. Hairston tripled off Pedro at Camden Yards last weekend. Ahead 3-1. Had a terrific second half last year to Jerry Hairston. After the All-Star break, he led the Orioles in hitting at .291. It was a miserable second half for Baltimore last year. And Pedro loses Hairston. The second walk given up by Martinez.
Now let's see now with 2 outs if Hairston tries to steal second base. He's been running. He's got 3 steals on the season. Has not yet been caught.
Gary Matthews for the second time tonight. He grounded out to second base in the first inning. Pedro fires over very quickly. Give me an idea about last year at the end of the year, including this year. The Orioles have lost 13 of the last 14 series dating back to last season. What has been a miserable stretch. The lone series they won was 2 out of 3 games against the Red Sox, oddly enough, here at Fenway Park, September 13th through the 15th. And a much different time for Mike Hargrove here in Baltimore than what he enjoyed in his time in Cleveland. Several division championships there. There goes Hairston. Veritek with the throw. One hopped and not in time. Hairston makes a theft of second base.
Picked a great pitch, too. He got the change up from Pedro and took advantage of that for the stolen base. You got to do this against Pedro. You just can't hang around the bases, you know, one base at a time, because even though they did get 3 in the first inning, you don't usually get big innings. So you got to try to create something.
Away to Matthews. Pedro 2 strikeouts to open up the second inning. He walked Jerry Hairston. He was stolen second. There's the strike. And that's 2-1 to the Orioles center fielder.
I think Jerry Lane's going to do. He's going to call a high strike tonight. That's a couple that have been called up above the belt. Around letter high.
Waves at that pitch. Not a real good swing, and it's 2-2. David Segui waits on deck. And Pedro's got other ideas with 2 outs here in the second and 2 strikes to the hitter. Pedro's at 40 pitches already as a beach ball has come onto the field. So Pedro pretty deep into the pitch count, an inning and 2/3. He has a great knack at minimizing pitches when he gets in a groove. The 2-2 misses, and it's a full count. The wind has shifted and is now blowing in. Struck him out. He ends up striking out the side. A walk mixed in, but an impressive second inning for Martinez. Inning and a half in the books from Fenway. Orioles on top 3-0. Boston Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Bob Stores. You can get real casual, real brands, real great prices. By Coors Light, cold down easy. And by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Boston Red Sox. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park opening night. And the Orioles out to the 3-0 advantage last half of inning number 2. And David Ortiz, his first Red Sox at bat here at Fenway, of course, here many times with the Twins.
How about those nice looking shoes that David Ortiz has got on tonight?
It's all about the shoes. Showing a lot of stirrup. They look comfortable, don't they?
Yeah, he and Manny look like they have the same ones on.
I'll have to ask Manny if I can get some. Ortiz, Millar, and Hillenbrand to face Jason Johnson, who gave up a hit in the first inning, but pretty quickly and quietly getting through the bottom of the first. Ortiz did not play in the last 2 games in Toronto and is now hitless in his last 11 at-bats. the left side. Backing out of play. 2-2.
And David Ortiz off to a rough start with the Red Sox, only hitting 100, a couple of RBI.
Fooled him on that pitch, and it's strikeout number 1 for Jason Johnson.
Game time is Miller time at Fenway and on Nesson. Stop by a participating Fenway area retailer before the game time, and you could win free tickets to the game and end up on Nesson in the Game Time is Miller time Fenway seats. Just like these lucky folks out here.
Here's Kevin Millar. Are you sure that's them?
Absolutely positive, Don. What are you going to be on me all night?
No, it's just kind of
We're in the second inning for crying out loud.
It's a vague circle. I mean, kind of circled a bunch of folks. Millar sends it the opposite way into right center field. Well, Kevin Millar with a 1-out single.
Now, we've seen Kevin Millar use the whole ballpark since being a member of the Red Sox, and that pitch down and away, and still lines it right by Jerry Hairston for the base hit.
What a great start. Now hitting at .412 with that base hit. One out, one on. Here's Shea Hillenbrand. 282 so far, 1 home run. And 16 RBIs to lead the American League in that category. Shea Hillenbrand expected to be a guest tonight after the game on the W.B. Mason's Extra Innings post-game show. Chop towards the second baseman. Hairston tags the bag on to first, and that concludes the second inning. So we've played 2 from Fenway tonight on opening night. The Orioles on top 3-0.
Back at Fenway, the Orioles have the 3-0 lead. Well, for every run of the Red Sox catch stealing this season on Nesson, you have a chance to win LoJack Stolen Vehicle Recovery System. Log on to boston.com/Nesson, enter the date, opponent, and runner's name for your chance to win the LoJack Caught Stealing Sweepstakes.
Top of the third inning, David Segui, Jeff Conine, and Jay Gibbons to face Pedro Martinez. Segui grounded out to second base his first time tonight. A career 190 hitter against Pedro.
Segui just came off the DL when we were in Baltimore. Broke a finger during spring training taking a ground ball at Fort Myers.
Did you see it?
No, I did not. I read about it.
And 1 away, and it's 1-1 to Segui. The Orioles have had trouble with hits. They've had 5 hits or less in 5 of their first 9 games. One more game here with the Red Sox, and then they are off for Cleveland for 3 games. Began this road trip by dropping 2 out of 3 against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Walker at second base, 1 foot on the outfield grass. He throws out Segui for the inning's first out. Second time Segui has used Walker, and Walker's done a fine job twice. It is a sold out, or at least appears to be, Fenway Park here on this opening night. Jeff Conine walked in the first.
And that breeze has started to pick up now, shooting from left to right, from left field wall to the bullpen area, which has caused that temperature to drop considerably since the start of the game.
Conine to be followed by Jay Gibbons in the inning as Nomar backed up at shortstop. Walker at second base, almost on the outfield grass. This is lined right to Ortiz for out number 2.
Quite a few changes at the ballpark as the night goes on. We'll try to highlight some of them for you. We've already shown you the seats, obviously, above the left field wall. The scoreboard. The National League has been added back to the scoreboard. That was taken away for a while. But now they have, along with the American League scores, also have added the National League scores on the Green Monster.
I like that. I always like coming to the ballpark and being able to see all the scores.
Kind of fills out the wall, you know. When they took it away, that scoreboard looked a little small out there. Now they put back the National League. They had that many years ago.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Dana DeMuth saying that Jay Gibbons offered. Ahead of Gibbons now, 1-2. Gibbons in his last game, which was on Thursday at Tampa Bay in the conclusion of that series, hit a 3-run home run. Waves at that pitch. Strikeout number 4 for Pedro Martinez. He is first 1-2-3 inning of the evening. 2.5 in the books. 3-0 Orioles. Back at Fenway, ready for the last of the 3rd inning. Jeremy Giambi, the DH, in there tonight. Trot Nixon still ailing a little bit with the flu that had him out of the opening day starting lineup yesterday, and today felt he wasn't going to play the first game. A chance he might have played tonight, but as it turns out, he gets tonight off as well, as he's still ailing a little bit with that flu. Red Sox had to make a move today. Alan Embry, due to soreness in his shoulder, has been DL'd. Retro to the last outing he had, and the Red Sox have called up from Pawtucket left-handed pitcher Kevin Tolar. And that may explain, Jerry, why his velocity has been down a little bit so far this season.
Yeah, complained a little bit about it after his last outing up in Toronto, so the Red Sox make the move by putting him on the DL. Kevin Tolar, who we saw a couple of times in spring training, a lot of minor league experience, some big league experience, left-hander called up to replace Embry.
Not a lot of action so far for the Pawtucket Red Sox, so not a lot of action for Kevin Tolar this season. He'd only pitched in 1 game, 2/3 of an inning, giving up a run in his only action at AAA with the Paw Sox so far this season. But he is here tonight in uniform and in the bullpen. Here's the 3-1 to Giambi. He'll work the walk, which he often does. The Red Sox have the lead man on for the first time tonight.
Number 33, Jason Varitek.
Well, last time Johnson faced the Red Sox, he actually walked more than he struck out, had 3 walks in that game, but the Red Sox could not score on him.
Here's Jason Varitek in the number 9 spot tonight. Jason's run into a bit of a snag over the last 4 games, 0 for 14 after a terrific start. Bunting one foul back to the backstop.
Yeah, trying to surprise Batista down at 3rd. He caught him way behind that bag at 3rd base, and Varitek trying to drop a bunt down for a base hit.
The other move today for Grady Little was skipping Wakefield in the rotation, scheduled to pitch tomorrow in the final game of this series, but due to all the rainouts, he's going to skip him, and Wakefield can be used out of the bullpen tonight and tomorrow as well. And they'll just go through the regular rotation after Wakefield. It's not a permanent thing by any means, but because of the rainouts, Wakefield is skipped and moved to the bullpen.
He'll go back into the starting rotation following Pedro's next start.
I'm sorry.
Toward the end of this week on this homestand.
In the meantime, it strengthens the bullpen. And that was largely the reason that Tim Wakefield was there so often. Varitek strikes out. Second strikeout for Jason Johnson, 1 down.
Well, we told you earlier, when he's on, he's got a very shot-breaking curveball, and now both of his strikeouts tonight with the curveball. One to Ortiz, and now that outside corner to Jason Varitek. He throw many changeups, mostly fastball, curveball.
Here's Johnny Damon, who grounded out to third base in the first inning. If you look at last year, perhaps the biggest problem for the Red Sox at the end of the year was the inability for the bullpen to pitch well in some of those close games, giving up leads late. You could point to Rich Garces having a tough year. You also could point to the fact that Tim Wakefield was back in the rotation and not out there, where he had been for some key times, and will be there for a short time now. Damon rips this to right. Gibbons headed back to the track of the wall. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Johnny Damon brings Boston back within a run.
Well, Damon has been on kind of a home run tear. 3 for 5 in his last game with a couple, and now gets the Red Sox quickly back in this ball game. I couldn't tell if that was a changeup or the fastball. Looked like he took something off the fastball, and Damon way out ahead of it. Off-speed pitches are what Johnny's been hitting best here in the early going.
Walker line to left his first time. Back and to our left.
And we'll see now how Jason Johnson responds to that home run. It's the first time this season he's been scored upon.
Gave up just 1 hit in that first outing to Manny Ramirez, and it was an infield hit. Well, the offer, I think he did, and Jabuz said he did. Todd Walker kind of punched at that. Last time out, and it was his first time, very close to 100 pitches, Jason Johnson throwing 97 pitches in that outing against Boston. Tonight he's only thrown 35. Over and into the Red Sox dugout on the first base side. Well, the Orioles had a 3-0 lead. The Red Sox back within a run. Off the inside edge, 2-2. Todd Walker has reached base safely in each of his first 9 games to be in the season. Foul tipped into Geronimo Gil's mitt, and there's strikeout number 3 for Jason Johnson. 2 down.
Back to the curveball for Jason Johnson. Again, a good shot curveball here in the early going. Again, picking up the strikeout. 2 strikeouts in this inning, both with the curveball. Sometime in the cooler weather, curveball's tough to grip, but no problem in this one. And it is getting cooler.
It is. It's definitely cooling off. And the breeze coming straight in is part of that. Nomar single to right his first time up. And cranks this one foul. Now has 572 RBIs as a member of the Red Sox. And he has just recently passed Carlton Fisk, 568, or 16th most in club history. The next gentleman that he is after is Dominic DiMaggio, who has 618 RBIs and 15th in Red Sox all-time history. Now the 0-2. Softly grounded towards Hairston. In time to get Garciaparra. So the Red Sox get 2 on the 2-run home run by Johnny Damon. They're back within a run as it's Baltimore 3 and Boston 2 at the end of 3. We'll take a look at some of the terrific ceremonies that went on at Fenway yesterday. Top of the 4th inning, back on opening night at Fenway Park. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy with you. As the Orioles with a 1-run lead now, it's 3-2. Tony Batista to lead it off. He doubled back in the 1st inning, off the wall in left. 30 homers a year ago for the Orioles. The most he ever hit was 41 in his career. Look out. Yeah. A piece of the umpire.
I think Jerry Lane got the worst of that. Reflected right off the glove of Veritek and right off the mask. Home plate umpire Jerry Lane. Rising fastball. Jerry Lane's asking Veritek, please catch the ball next time.
Try to catch those whenever possible.
Now a little courtesy by Veritek. He goes out to talk to Pedro to try to give the umpire some time.
And Jerry Lane talking with Tony Batista and doing a little walking. He's still taking some time for himself here. The 1-2 to Batista. Opens up. The Orioles have been retired 4 in a row now by Pedro Martinez. Pedro with 4 strikeouts over the last 2 innings after not striking out any of the Orioles in the 1st inning. Hargrove making sure that Lane is all right, and now Lane has called for the umpire from 3rd to come down, and clearly he's not all right, Jerry.
He might be a little bit dizzy after getting hit by that foul ball. Rattle the chain a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. And I called for the umpires to come down, and they're making sure he's all right. Kind of holding the back of his head a little bit, but I'm sure everything's jarred when it comes in like that.
It's like he's going to give it a go and try to stay in here. This is what caused the damage. The fastball up off the webbing of the glove and then right off the face, the mask of Jerry Lane.
Now Hargrove coming out.
You got to wonder here if maybe they've lost count of the actual count on Batista.
Scoreboard has it at 2-1. I think it's 2-2.
He may have been a little bit confused, and that's why they took the time out. Then we can take a look back on the replay and see exactly how many pitches have been thrown. But I think that's the question right now, what the official count is. I think Lane got shaken up so bad that he probably lost track of the count.
I think it's 2-2. Scoreboard says 2-1. We'll find out very soon. As they are checking, and Jerry Lane trying to get himself together back there. And Hargrove not happy about it, whatever it is, as Batista's back. And there it is, 2-2. Just went up on the scoreboard. So 2-2. Line to left, and it's going to go towards the wall on the ground. Batista doubled his first time. He's headed for 2 this time. Great throw from Ramirez. Batista is out. Ramirez from the deepest left corner throws out Batista at second base. And the Fenway faithful salute Manny Ramirez.
And he picks up his second assist of the season. Batista, remember the first time up, he stopped about halfway to second base. Manny plays that with the bare hand. This time he decides to go, and he's out by about 7 feet. All Todd Walker had to do is spin around, find him, and apply that tag. Never really did get to the bag.
6 outfield assists last year. Trot Nixon first on the club last year with 7 outfield assists. Manny was second a year ago, and that's the second one of the year for Ramirez. DJ Surhoff chops it towards Walker. 2 down. Let's check in with Tom Karen. Hey, Tom Karen's here. Let's check in with Tom Karen. Tom?
Yeah, Eric Fried's got the night off. We're up here on the Green Monster seats with a couple of guys, part of the construction crew. Vinny and Marty here from New England Foundation Company. You guys got this all started with the piles way back in January.
Yes, we did.
Do you ever think it would be like this?
No, not at all. This is unbelievable.
Out on the field for the pregame ceremonies, what was that like?
It was, I can't explain it. It was unbelievable.
You talked to Nomar?
Yes, I was walking by, coming back to my seat, looked right at him and said, Nomar, come on, bring it back to us. Let's go.
It's pretty good. It's Marty's first game ever at Fenway, and these are pretty good seats. They go on sale Monday to the public. This weekend for the construction workers. Back to you guys.
All right, Tom. As Davey Cruz at the plate fouls that pitch off. He's down 0-2. Nice to see Tom. He's not been with us so far this season.
I figured he'd find his way out to those new seats above the left field wall. Is that his bodyguard behind him?
He brings him everywhere. I saw them coming in earlier, and he was carrying Tom's bag.
He looks like Tom with a beard.
He does. Looks like his brother. They're like twins. Pedro strikes out Davey Cruz. Got away from Veritek briefly, so he's got to tag him out, which he does. Strikeout number 5 for Martinez. We head to the last of the 4th. Baltimore on top 3-2. Back at Fenway Park, and Jerry Lane here up in between innings talking to the Orioles trainer, and it looks as if one of the umpires has gone back inside to change into the home plate umpire's gear, and I get the impression that Jerry Lane may not stay in behind home plate. And whether he stays for the rest of the game remains to be seen, but we may have a bit of a delay here as the umpire is running back up the runway to change into what appears to be the gear for behind the plate. Well, the Red Sox trailed 3-0 until the last of the 3rd inning, when Johnny Damon sends this down the right field line and out of the yard. Johnny's 3rd home run of the young season has the Red Sox back within a run. Jason Johnson through the first 3 innings, giving up more runs than he did in his first outing against the Red Sox. 2 runs on 3 hits. Pedro Martinez threw 3 runs. That all came in the top of the 1st inning for the Orioles as they sent 7 men to the plate. 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. Giambi with a walk and a run scored, and Jake Gibbons with a double and a couple of RBIs tonight for the Orioles.
What the umpire has to do up through the Red Sox runway, and their clubhouse is above the Red Sox clubhouse here at Fenway Park. Time they get up there and change, get all that equipment on, the chest protector, the shin guards. Takes a little while for that to happen, so it looks like Jerry Lane's wisely going to take the remainder of the night off.
Well, Pedro Martinez fastball rising up into his mask, and he heads off as Pedro looks over in his general direction. Now the Red Sox finally playing baseball here tonight at Fenway Park, Jerry, and a lot of wet weather. Now the Orioles are coming off the field. You look down, and this may take longer than anticipated. And the Orioles are coming off. So they may be expecting a little longer than first thought. Jason Johnson threw his warm-up pitches as if the inning was going to begin on time, and now Mike Hargrove talking things over. That's kind of a strange move.
Yeah, really. I mean, it does take a while, but you don't anticipate it taking all that long. But they do have to, you know, completely get everything off, put on the new equipment, redress.
Well, in the meantime, we will step aside and come back with more from Fenway. 3-2, Baltimore on top.
Well, back at Fenway, a 3-2 Oriole lead. We are in the process now of having an umpire put on his equipment to go behind home plate to replace Jerry Lane, who was apparently obviously shaken up by that ball that hit off his mask last inning. Well, here's your chance to sit in the hottest seats at Fenway. Approximately 2,000 tickets for the brand new Green Monster seats go on sale at 9 a.m. Monday at the Fenway Park ticket office. Tickets are available for the final 7 games of the opening week homestand Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night against the Devil Rays, and next Friday through Monday against the Blue Jays. There's a limit of 16 tickets per person. They're $50 apiece. Standing room is $20. Don't forget, Green Monster seats are only available here at Fenway Park Monday morning at 9.
And there's a look at those great seats up there atop the wall. Kind of like bar stools up there, and you sit on the perch and look down right at the hitter from above the Green Monster and left. A terrific vantage point up there. Time now for the Affleck trivia question. And our question tonight, kind of timely. Prior to 2003, when was the last time the Red Sox opened a season with 10 road games, which they did this year, 6-4 on the trip this year? We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning. Well, it's taken a while for the Red Sox to have their home opener. Of course, yesterday rained out. The first game today rained out. And we should also tell you that the game that was rained out today, as part of the day-night doubleheader, postponed due to the weather, of course, and really the field conditions more than anything else. Will be made up as part of a day-night doubleheader on Friday, August 8th. Fans with tickets for this afternoon's game dated April 11th mark game 1. They hold on to those stubs and use them for admission to the 105 makeup game on August the 8th against the Orioles. And the Red Sox here tonight with a 3-2 score against the Orioles, and certainly happy to be home, Jerry. That was a very long road trip to begin the year.
Long road trip through 3 cities, and obviously actually 4. We got to have to do those exhibition games up in Atlanta, and of course the Red Sox got home very late from Toronto prior to opening day, and then a short night, come and get rained out on opening day. So I think probably appreciated the rest last night, give them a chance to get settled in, sat around all day today, and finally playing some baseball tonight. Well, I got a chance to say hello to the folks down at Dartmouth High School, especially Jared Ritter down there at Dartmouth.
Well, the Red Sox tonight with Pedro Martinez on the mound. Your impressions of Pedro so far? No decisions in his first 2 outings, but tonight, after a tough first inning, seems to be much better off.
Yeah, you know, first inning, a couple of base hits. Obviously, Gibbons with that double hooked and outside fastball, and then Batista with the base hit to drive in a run. He just looked more comfortable when he came back in the second inning, second through now, and it looks like right now he's got things going pretty well. What's a huge crowd tonight? I didn't expect to see this big a crowd on a night game in April this early in the season, but this place just about jam-packed and filled. And folks here have endured a long, cold, snowy winter and are happy to see some baseball.
Well, the Orioles are coming back out onto the field. And Jason Johnson, their pitcher. Does it look like Greg Gibson to you? Or Marvin Hudson? Tough to tell. I'll have to get confirmation, but they'll be working with 3 umpires, it appears, the rest of the way. So the delay as Jerry Lane left, and they will indeed work with 3 umpires the rest of the way tonight.
Another change the Red Sox have made here at Fenway. In straightaway center field above the hitter's backdrop, you have a couple of new scoreboards. One, the pitcher, the number of pitches he's thrown, the number of balls and strikes. On the other side, they have different stats up there. They've had lifetime stats against the Orioles, lifetime stats against Pedro or whoever's pitching in the ball game. One of the new features here at Fenway Park.
Marvin Hudson has taken over in behind the plate. So it is Hudson behind the dish in for Jerry Lane. Greg Gibson remains at first, and Dana DeMuth remains at second. Hudson had been the second base umpire, so he comes in behind the plate. Well, Jason Johnson had taken all of his warm-up tosses before Jerry Lane left, and now he's had some more due to the delay. And Manny Ramirez gets it started here in the last of the 4th inning. Line to center field his first time. And against Jason Johnson, 2 home runs in his career. Johnson with 3 strikeouts so far in his outing. He's given up 3 hits, and the big one, the 2-run home run by Johnny Damon. And in there for a strike. 1-1 to Manny.
Jason Johnson's had to warm up twice in this inning. Come out, make warm-up pitches, go back, sit down, get loose again, and now go after the Red Sox lineup.
And he was 0 for 5 in the last game of the series in Toronto and on the road trip. Lines this one deep to right, but back goes Gibbons, shy of the track to bring it in.
Well, that's the area right now in this park you want to hit it. That wind's blowing out in that direction, but you got to get a little more elevation on it for the wind to have effect. That ball, a line drive for Ramirez, and Gibbons just had to go back a couple of steps to make the play.
Here's David Ortiz, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. He's reached base safely via hit, walk, or error in the 5 games that he has started so far this season. A strikeout victim in the 2nd inning in his first at bat. Ortiz 2 for 21 now in a Red Sox uniform. And Johnson backs off the mound. One and 2 now to Ortiz, dismayed by the call. There's words for the new home plate umpire, Marvin Hudson.
I got adjustments to make now. New guy behind the plate, different obviously for both pitcher and hitter.
Ortiz waves to that pitch and strikes out. 4 strikeouts now for Jason Johnson. 2 down here in the last of the 4th inning.
Ortiz had a few words for Hudson after he struck out on the curveball. In other words, you put me in this spot where I had to go after that curveball with 2 strikes.
Sometimes the strike zone changes throughout the night because of inconsistency by umpires, but not often is it that you have another umpire come into the game.
It definitely changes when you change umpires. And we certainly hope Jerry Lane's okay.
2 down, 4 in a row retired by Johnson. Millar after the first pitch fouls it off the right side. Ten-game hitting streak now for Millar with his base hit back in the 2nd inning. Many Red Sox fans welcoming Kevin Millar. Jason Johnson just welcomed him with a pitch inside. The Orioles starter, 29 years of age, 6'6", 217 pounds. Two and one. Strike 2-2.
That's a knee buckler right there. That curveball, Millar thinking fastball on a 2-1 count, and Jason Johnson buckles his knees with the curveball. That's Millar's knees. Oop, they flinch a little bit on that breaking ball.
Really get a piece that time. 2-2. Jason Johnson, with 4 years of major league experience, the pitcher for the Orioles, came over to Baltimore in spring training of '99 from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in exchange for Danny Clyburn cash considerations. Hit well to deep left center field. Matthews heading back will run onto the track to bring it in. Seemed to die out there in left center field. The crosswind back by the 379 marker. And it's a 1-2-3 4th inning. We played 4, 3-2 Orioles. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, making great healthcare a little easier. By your New England Toyota dealers, get the feeling. And by Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park, ready for the top of the 5th inning. The Orioles on top, 3-2 as we move to the top of the 5th. Our producer is Patrick Cavanaugh, director Mike Narachi, associate producer Greg Petronzio, and our chief statistician in charge, Paul Carroll. Geronimo Heel takes strike 1 from Pedro, struck out 5 so far tonight. Heel is one of them, last time up in the 2nd inning. Up in our general direction and in to the radio booth. Jerry Trupiano on the grab. Nicely done, Troop. Got it on the fly for a change. See, I was ready. I was on the move.
Nice play, Troop.
Very nice. The only reason that catch was now possible is, I don't know if you noticed, Jerry got rid of his Larry King setup with the microphone that comes up over the top of him. He now just has gone to the headset, which is the first time, I think, in Troop's career.
That's right. He would have bumped into that microphone. He would have never caught that ball.
It's like one of these where he talked like this. Larry King setup. But now he has the freedom to do things like catch. He's very comfortable with that headset. His lateral movement. Heel sends it through the left side into left field.
Seen Pedro upset with himself on a couple of occasions tonight. Obviously back in the 1st inning when Batista got that hit to lead off the 4th. He was upset after that pitch and not real happy about Geronimo Heel picking up the base hit on the curveball. Right by Shea Hillenbrand, between he and Garcia Parra. And Pedro again not happy.
Now he has to deal with Jerry Hairston, who has been troublesome for him. A single and a walk tonight, and a run scored. Hairston, after walking in the 2nd inning, stole second base, but was left there when Pedro struck out Gary Matthews. Pitch number 70 of the night for Pedro Martinez in their first strike. So 70 pitches deep, through 4+ innings. Pedro grabs it over the shoulder. Now Jerry Hairston retired, but up to second goes Geronimo Gil. And the sacrifice bunt.
The center fielder, number 36.
Time now for the Aflac trivia question to answer from an inning ago. Like that. Prior to the 2003, or just prior to 2003, when was the last time the Red Sox opened a season with 10 road games? 1901. It was quite some time ago, as it turns out. Well, they were in Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Washington. You remember that, don't you?
Was that by horse and buggy?
There's Gary Matthews, 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And lines it towards right center field. That gets down for a hit. Geronimo Gil comes around to score. Millar lost his footing out there, and to second base goes Gary Matthews. The Orioles grab another run and lead it 4-2.
Well, a sacrifice paying off for Hargrove. He wanted to move a man in a scoring position, and Matthews responds on the changeup. That's one of the few times that Pedro leaves that changeup about thigh high, and Matthews hits that ball into the gap. See the little slip, still wet in the outfield here at Fenway. And across comes Gil with the 4th run for the Orioles.
The double for Matthews, and RBI number 5 for him on the season. Here's David Segui, who's done the same thing twice. That's ground out to the Red Sox second baseman Todd Walker. Once in the first and again in the 3rd inning. David Segui only playing in 26 games last year. He missed the final 122 games of the Orioles schedule after undergoing surgery May 21st to repair the knee injury. Big cut and fooled on the pitch clearly was Segui. I think I said knee. It was actually his left hand. And furthermore, it was his triangular fibrocartilage complex.
Well, if you just would have said that, everybody would have known.
Right. It was actually a torn triangular fibrocartilage complex problem that he had. And they kept him out of the last 122 Orioles games. Into center field for a base hit. Gary Matthews coming around as Damon collects it in center. But the Orioles go on top now, 5-2. So far, a 2-run top half of the 5th inning.
The first baseman.
Now this has just completely stunned this crowd here at Fenway to see the Orioles get with 5 runs now against Pedro. Pedro looked like he had settled down pretty good in this game, but that's the cut fastball again, upstairs with it, and Segui into center field for the base hit. Segui picks up his 4th RBI of the season, and now the Orioles with the 5-2 lead.
Segui at first. Jeff Conine, who walked in the first, lined out to first in the 3rd. Waves at the first one. Pedro has thrown 77 pitches total, and 47 for strikes so far tonight.
Never really has gotten into the flow of this tonight. You know, for a couple of innings, the 2nd where he had the 3 strikeouts, then the 3rd, but then that leadoff base hit in the 4th, and then struggling this inning.
Conine doesn't chase. 1-2. The Orioles got to Pedro for 3 right out of the gate in the 1st inning. But then Pedro coming right back, strikes out the side in the 2nd. As you see Wakefield out in the bullpen again. He will be there, missing his start. And if you're just joining us, it is due to all the rainouts. He'll miss a start and come back after Pedro next time through.
Pedro thought he had a strike on that cut fastball. If it was outside, not by very much.
Two will miss. Is Jerry Lane back? He might be. There's 4 umpires out there now.
I'm not sure it's Jerry Lane, though, that has come back.
Dan Iasonia has joined the umpiring crew. He's taken over at second base where Hudson had been. In the dirt, and it's ball 4 to Jeff Conine. So Pedro was ahead. He ends up losing Conine, and there's the 3rd base on balls, served up by Martinez.
Yep, no rhythm to this one for Pedro here tonight.
Jay Gibbons.
Well, get the Globe's award-winning sports coverage every day. Call 1-800-984-5335 for 50% off home delivery. The Boston Globe, your world unfolding daily.
Bruce Gregson, the acting pitching coach, out to talk to Pedro. Veritek lingers out there to continue the conversation. 2 singles, a double, and a walk as Steve Woodard warms up in the pen. Given up by Pedro in this inning. And 2 runs so far across for the Orioles here in the top of the 5th. Jay Gibbons takes the breaking ball for strike 1. Gibbons second on the Orioles last year with a career best 28 home runs. Flares it to center. Damon coming on, and he can't make the catch. Drops in front of him. Everybody had to kind of wait, so everybody moves up 90 feet. Segui to third, Conine to second on the flare, single to center for Jay Gibbons.
That's a good play by Jeff Conine. Good base running play, because he's the guy, you know, that needs to be trapped there by not getting to second base. He read that very well. He knew how deep Damon was playing and that this ball was going to drop in. So by the time that that ball did drop in, Conine was just about at second base, right off the end of the bat. Just a bloop out in front of Johnny Damon. It's a very good base running by Conine. See, Damon looks right away to second. He figures that's where I'm going to have a play, but nothing going on there. Well, right now the Orioles have a chance to break this game open.
On top by 3. They've got him loaded. Segui at third, Conine at second, Gibbons at first with 1 out. Batista 5 grand slams in his career. And he's 2 for 2 against Pedro tonight. But Gibson saying he didn't offer.
A lot of pitches upstairs for Pedro. Very unusual.
I just got to wonder a little bit about the waiting around. Scheduled to pitch yesterday and this afternoon, and finally gets in there tonight. Whether he waited around here at Fenway Park or at home, don't know. But from a mental standpoint, had it geared up for yesterday, had it geared up again today for the day game, and finally gets to work here tonight. And clearly not as sharp as the normal Pedro Martinez. Went up top that time, and Batista went up there with him and missed it.
Now that's by design, though. That time he wanted to get him to chase that high fastball, and finally Batista obliges.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The 2-2 to Batista, missing for ball 3. The last one, a 93 miles per hour from Pedro. Ball 4, and Martinez walks in a run. Segui coming from third with the 6th Baltimore run, and the Orioles lead it now 6-2.
Well, how often do you see that in the career of Pedro Martinez, walking in a run with the bases loaded?
Amazing.
Looked like he tried to turn that fastball over and just not even close to the plate.
Here's B.J. Surhoff, the 8th Oriole to bat here in the top of the 5th.
Struggling right now with everything. That was a changeup.
Five grand slams for Surhoff. Woodard still warming in the Boston pen. To right field for a base hit. Conine will score. Gibbons being sent around. The throw goes to third. 2 more runs in for the Orioles, and they up their lead to 8-2. And that's going to do it for Pedro. So the Orioles with a 4-run 5th so far, and the unceremonious end to Pedro Martinez's evening. Clearly not the Pedro Martinez we are used to seeing as he hands the ball to Grady and heads off. So a pitching change from Fenway. We'll step aside and come back with more. In the midst of the top of the 5th inning, the Orioles now lead it 8-2.
Only available here at Fenway Park Monday morning at 9.
Pedro Martinez gone after 4 1/3, and he turns things over to Steve Woodard.
Making his 3rd appearance for the Red Sox. He's worked a total of 5 innings, allowing 6 hits and a couple of earned runs. His last outing was against Baltimore. That was last Friday in Baltimore. 2 innings in that game, 2 earned runs.
Davy Cruz, the 9th member of the Orioles to bat here in the 5th, has struck out twice. 2 of 5 Pedro strikeouts. Of course, Martinez responsible for Tony Batista at second and B.J. Surhoff at first base. But 4 1/3 from Pedro. 9 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts.
Never really looked comfortable tonight. Never seemed to get into that good groove. And a lot of pitches Pedro left up in the zone, which is very uncharacteristic for him, especially the change-ups. Cut fastball.
Strike to Cruz. 2-1 with the Orioles shortstop.
It looked like in the 3rd and the 4th inning, 2nd, 3rd, he was really starting to settle into that groove, but then just didn't complete it tonight. Didn't seem to have it.
In the air to left field. Struck well as Ramirez goes back. That is going to grab some wall. Batista scores from second base. They're going to try and score Surhoff. The cutout throw comes from Garcia Parr, and it's not in time. 2 more runs come in, and the Orioles lead it 10-2. At second base with the double is Davy Cruz.
Davy Cruz, probably the happiest guy on that Oriole team to see Pedro leave the game. He struck out twice. Now he gets a Woodard in there, and he plants one high off that left field wall. So a huge inning here for the Baltimore Orioles. Here's the relay from Damon and Nomar to Veritek, but not in time to get B.J. Surhoff. Well, this one's kind of stunned this Fenway crowd.
Now Geronimo Heel, who led off the inning with a base hit to left, came around to score. Well, should the Red Sox not come back, we'd be in some kind of uncharted waters. Last season, Pedro started the year 7-0. 2005 5-0, 6-0 in 2001. Well, unless the Red Sox come back, he'll be dealt his first loss and be 0-1 on this young 2003 campaign.
And to give credit to the Oriole hitters, I mean, you know, when he did make mistakes, they took advantage of it. They jumped on it. Sometimes you make mistakes and you get away with it. Orioles are on top of him tonight.
Woodard fell behind the number 9 hitter, 3-0, but gets one in there. Still just 1 out in the inning. Now full count. The top of the Orioles order, Jerry Hairston waiting on deck. Right side towards Walker. 2 down. On to third goes Davy Cruz. Kind of a raspberry cheer goes up at Fenway after the second out recorded.
Jerry Hairston.
It's interesting. You never know about this game. You know, the Orioles at the beginning of this inning were playing for 1 run. They had Hairston sacrificing. Instead of getting 1, they've got 7 so far in this inning. Usually when you play for 1, you get 1. Not the case here.
The runs are all charged to Pedro Martinez. All 10, and that seems so strange to say. 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 10 runs, all earned, 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. Can you ever remember a time that Pedro Martinez gave up 10 runs at any time?
We'll have people looking up that stat, but I can't remember it, not even close. Unless there was a time when he was having some of those physical problems a few years back, but no, I don't remember.
Remember there was one tough outing when he was having the problems against the Tigers that comes to mind, but I don't think it was 10 runs. And we are told now that it is indeed a career high surrendered by Pedro Martinez. 10 runs. Three and 1. Pedro threw 92 pitches tonight. Most he's ever given up before was 9 runs back in 1999 against the Florida Marlins on July 18th.
I remember that. I think after that outing, and I think it was here at Fenway, if not mistaken, he went on a DL.
The very next day, I'm told.
Yeah.
Third, the payoff pitch cranked in and up over the Orioles dugout, hit the front of it and jumped up over it. Everybody was ready for it to go in. Hit one of those water coolers and ended up in the seats. And in the hands of that gentleman, Melvin Mora, ducking for cover down there. Kevin Millar, the final out of a very lengthy and painful top of the 5th inning, which the Orioles score 7 in the inning and lead it 10-2.